The desert sun burned like fire over northern Chile's Atacama Desert, a place so dry and barren that scientists call it Earth's closest mirror to Mars. It was August 5, 2010, when the San copper and gold mine, a century-old labyrinth carved deep into the earth, roared like a beast waking from slumber. In an instant, the ground shook, the walls groaned, and within seconds, 33 miners, ordinary men of flesh and blood, found themselves sealed beneath nearly 700 meters of solid rock. The sound of the collapse was deafening, a deep primal roar as millions of tons of stone caved in, sealing the main shaft like a tomb. Darkness consumed them, dust filled their lungs. For hours, they clawed and stumbled through pitch-black tunnels, hoping for an escape route that no longer existed. Their lamps dimmed. Their throats burned, panic set in. The mine, a place they had worked in every day, had transformed into a coffin. Among them was Luis, the shift supervisor, a man whose steady voice and calm leadership would become their anchor. He counted the men, inspected the damage, and realized what they were up against. A monstrous slab of stone, twice the weight of the Empire State Building, blocked their way out. They were trapped, and nobody on the surface even knew if they were alive. As hours turned into days, the miners huddled together in what would come to be known as the refuge, a damp chamber no bigger than a small apartment. They had food meant for 2 days, a few cans of tuna, a carton of milk, cookies. They divided a spoonful of tuna into 33 tiny portions. They drank water drained from industrial cooling tanks. Hunger gnawed at them, but hope kept them breathing. Meanwhile, above ground, families gathered near the mine's entrance, their grief and fear echoing in prayers whispered to the heavens. Television crews began to arrive. Engineers studied maps of the mine, horrified by its depth and instability. Every drill attempt could trigger another collapse, but time was merciless. If the men were alive, their food and air were running out. For 17 long days, the miners waited in that suffocating darkness. Their minds wavered between faith and despair. They told stories to pass the time, sang hymns, and vowed to survive as brothers. The smell of sweat, dust, and exhaustion filled the air. The earth groaned around them like a predator circling its prey. Then, on August 22nd, a miracle arrived in the form of a drill bit punching through rock. A narrow borehole reached their chamber. With trembling hands, the men scrawled a message in red marker on a scrap of paper. Estamos bien en el refugio, lost 33, we are well in the shelter, the 33 of us. When rescuers pulled that note up to the surface, the world erupted in tears and cheers. Against all odds, they were alive. The battle for survival was no longer a question of if, it was a question of how. News of the miners' survival electrified the world. Overnight, the barren Atacama Desert transformed into Camp Hope, a sprawling village of tents, engineers, reporters, and families clinging to faith. The Chilean government called in experts from across the globe, NASA scientists, drilling engineers, rescue specialists. What lay ahead was no simple mission. The men were buried beneath 2,300 feet of unforgiving rock, deeper than the height of the Empire State Building stacked twice. Any wrong move could cause another cave-in, sealing their fate forever. Below, the 33 miners became a world unto themselves, trapped in darkness for weeks that stretched in 2 months. They organized their days like soldiers in a battle for sanity. Luis, their leader, kept morale steady, dividing rations and assigning tasks. Mario, nicknamed Super Mario, became their entertainer, cracking jokes and lifting spirits. Yanni Barrios, with a bit of medical training, became the group's doctor, tending to infections and injuries in the most primitive conditions. Faith became their torch. They prayed, they shared life stories, they clung to hope like oxygen. Rescuers above ground worked tirelessly, drilling not 1 but 3 escape routes, each code-named Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Every drill bit screamed as it bored through ancient rock, sometimes failing, sometimes jamming. The miners watched from below, listening to the groans of the earth as steel teeth clawed their way toward salvation. Families camped outside the mine entrance for weeks, holding vigils, singing hymns, and waiting for the day their loved ones would see sunlight again. Inside the mine, NASA sent custom-designed health kits and communication devices through narrow boreholes. Tiny capsules delivered warm meals, water, and letters from family. The men began exercising to stay fit for the dangerous journey out. Psychologists counseled them through video calls, teaching them mental strategies to fight isolation. Slowly, the fear of death gave way to a fragile optimism. After 69 days underground, Plan B's drill broke through. Engineers lowered a custom-built rescue capsule called the Phoenix, a steel coffin barely wider than a man's shoulders. One by one, the miners climbed inside, their hearts pounding as they were winched up through a twisting shaft, a 20-minute journey from darkness to light, when the first miner, Florencio Valos, emerged on October 13, 2010, the world held its breath. Cameras flashed, Crowds wept. His young son ran forward to hug him, and a cheer erupted that echoed across continents. Through the night and into the next day, all 33 men were pulled to safety. Each arrival was a triumph, a tearful reunion, a symbol of human resilience. When the last miner surfaced, Luis, the steady captain who had held his men together, the rescue was declared complete. Against every odd, not a single life had been lost. The Chilean miners' ordeal was not just a story of survival. It was a testament to unity. Miners who refused to abandon hope, engineers who defied geological odds, and families who transformed grief into relentless prayer. The world had watched as 33 ordinary men became symbols of courage, reminding humanity that even in the deepest darkness, the human spirit can shine brighter than the sun.